The Mi 10 Pro is premium in every possible way, and it is definitely one of the best Xiaomi phones the company has ever made. I do like it for a lot of reasons, and here is my long-term review. What impressed me the most about the Mi 10 Pro: speed and responsiveness of the device even after using it for months in all kinds of situations. Xiaomi put all of the best hardware components available into this phone, which, coupled with proprietary cooling system, a crispy 90Hz display, and good optimization, assure excellent all-around performance pretty much all the time. I haven't tested the Mi 10 Ultra yet, but the Mi 10 Pro is definitely one of the fastest phones I've ever used and the fastest Xiaomi phone I've used to date. It just feels smooth and responsive thanks to faster and improved animations, good optimization, and of course a 90Hz display that I'll talk about in just a bit. I have to tell you that the MIUI 12 has really grown on me. I agree that some features like a new control center are inspired by iOS, but I don't mind that at all. I love the visuals, all the extra features, simplicity, and obviously the speed of the user interface. The usual Xiaomi customization options are still here, from a powerful theming engine to a variety of other enhancements. The MIUI 12 has you covered. At first, I thought floating window feature was just a gimmick, but once I got used to it, I found myself using it quite often. Despite all the extra features, the UI looks nice and clean. I found Xiaomi's highly marketed Liquid Cool 2.0 system to be doing its job really well when playing 3D games on the very highest graphics settings. I suggest you launching the games through a dedicated game space, which Xiaomi calls Game Turbo. The phone stays almost cool to the touch when gaming, and the phone handles all of the latest titles without breaking a sweat. Top-notch gaming experience. Now let's talk about the design. Xiaomi didn't invent anything new, but the Mi 10 Pro looks beautiful. It really depends on how well you treat your phone, but my unit still looks pretty much new. I love the way the phone feels in the hand, and you can definitely tell this is a high-end flagship thanks to the metal frame and curved glass on the front and rear. One of my favorite features, matte glass finish, which does not attract fingerprints like glossy surfaces. I've said this many times, but I want more manufacturers to start using matte glass backplates, which are both more practical and look more premium in my opinion. A downside: the phone does not carry an official IP certification for water and dust resistance. Instead, it has Pi2 nano coating, which in some tests proved to have effective waterproofing properties, but I didn't want to take the risk and submerge my Mi 10 Pro underwater. I usually say that Samsung phones have the best panels, but the Mi 10 Pro also has a superb screen. Well, it's not QHD, but that's absolutely fine. This 90Hz screen is one of the sharpest I've seen, and it's got vibrant colors, deep blacks, excellent contrast, and great outdoor visibility. Other favorite features definitely include a pair of stereo speakers that are implemented on the top and bottom of the phone. In fact, I might even say this is the best pair of speakers I've heard in a while. They pretty much blow out of the water the iPhone, Galaxy S20 Ultra, and the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II. Here is a quick audio comparison test. I also love using a super fast face unlock feature, and I found the in-display fingerprint reader to be reliable pretty much all the time. I didn't use an IR blaster much, but it's good to know it's here. The lack of the micro SD card slot didn't bother me at all, as I didn't manage to fill up 256GB of onboard storage. Keep in mind that there are two versions of the phone, the one with a single and another with a dual SIM card slot. Last but definitely not least feature I love about the Mi 10 Pro after using it for a while: haptic feedback, or small vibrations when you navigate through the UI. They just feel more natural than on previous Xiaomi flagships I've used before. I found a quad camera system that has a powerful 108 megapixel sensor at the core to be really good both in stills and video. Daylight image quality is near excellent using all 3 camera lenses. I took hundreds of pictures with this camera system, and my takeaway is that the colors are accurate and consistent across all of the sensors. The images are also very sharp and detailed, and you can utilize the full potential of the main sensor by taking 108 megapixels pictures that are useful for cropping. Dynamic range has been pretty impressive too, as the cameras along with Xiaomi's software algorithms do a great job bringing detail back to the shadows. You can also take pretty good quality optical and hybrid zoom images up to 10 times thanks to 2 dedicated telephoto shooters. 2 times optical zoom pictures usually look really nice and sharp. If you want to zoom in even further, I think 5 times zoom pictures look the best, and 10 times images are just above average. You can go up to 50 times zoom, which is, as you may see, is more like a gimmick. A 12 megapixels portrait lens works really well on humans, objects, and cats. The only downside is that we can only take portraits with the 50mm lens, meaning that you need some space to be able to take the picture. On the other hand, 50mm is a classic focal length used in portrait photography to preserve the most natural look. There is also a macro mode, which requires patience for the best results, but I didn't find myself using it very often. Low-light camera performance is pretty good overall, especially with the main lens and using a dedicated night mode. In fact, these are one of the best low-light shots I've seen this year in terms of detail, sharpness, and low noise levels. On the other hand, a wide-angle lens could perform better in both auto and night mode. When it comes to video, the Mi 10 Pro gives you a ton of options. You can record videos in 8K resolution if you need a ridiculous amount of detail, or choose more traditional 4K 30 or 60 FPS modes. Even though 8K video quality is nice, I found myself using 4K 30 FPS mode most of the time because the footage has plenty of detail and, most importantly, it is very stable and smooth. I wouldn't say the same about 4K 60 FPS though. If you need that extra frame rate, I would suggest you use a gimbal, as handheld video is a little bit shaky. Xiaomi also added a steady video and steady video pro modes, but these modes work only in 1080p, so I stick to my favorite 4K 30 FPS for extra detail. There are pro photo and video modes too, which allow you to adjust quite a few image settings. Since I'm more of a video shooter than a photographer, I enjoyed using the Video Pro mode that is loaded with features. One of my favorites, focus peaking, that is really helpful when you are focusing manually. I also like movie frame, histogram, and exposure verification video assist features. Some may miss 4K video recording on the front-facing camera, but 1080p video quality is pretty good overall. What you won't miss is great image quality using a selfie shooter both in auto and portrait modes. Pictures look really nice, sharp, and my face is usually nicely separated from the background. However, low-light selfie quality could be better, but that's the case with pretty much all phones. The battery life has been really good thanks to a large 4500 mAh cell. I could usually get about 7 or 8 hours of screen on time while using the phone quite intensively on about 50% screen brightness setting. The phone supports crazy fast charging speeds. The 65 watts charger refills about 77% of the dead battery in just about 30 minutes, while it takes about 50 minutes for the full charge. The Mi 10 Pro also supports 30 watts wireless fast charging via Xiaomi's proprietary wireless charger. As you may expect, all of the connectivity options have been working great on this device, including Wi-Fi, call quality, signal reception, NFC, Bluetooth, and GPS. So here is my conclusion. The Mi 10 Pro is the second best flagship Xiaomi has ever made, right after the Mi 10 Ultra, even though I feel Xiaomi skipped a few essential features. I really enjoyed using this phone because of its speed, great cameras, one of the best displays, and good battery life with super fast charging. A dual stereo speaker system makes me want to watch YouTube videos on this phone a lot. It's probably the best on any phone at the moment. Lastly, MIUI 12 is the most polished Xiaomi's implementation of Android. two key flaws to me: the lack of official IP68 certification for water and dust resistance, and the lack of 4K video recording using a selfie shooter. As I've mentioned before, I don't mind Xiaomi skipping the micro SD card slot, as 256GB is plenty of storage to me. Now the price. The Mi 10 Pro still costs around $1,000 US, making it one of the most expensive devices out there. On the other hand, that's the price of current flagships, and I have to admit that the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro is one of the best phones you can buy at the moment, even though it has a few shortcomings to consider. What do you think about the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro? Would you buy it, or would you choose another option? As always, like the video if you liked it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, drop me a comment down below in the comment section if you have any questions, and as always, it was Linus, thank you for watching and see you soon.